Good morning, everybody. I guess in Denver here, it's a hot, sunny day. And from what I hear on the news, it's sort of across the country. Today's the official first day of summer, and my world is always summery and beautiful when Becca Randall visits me. Very, very special. Young, but doing a fabulous job, lady. Good morning.
Mhm.
And first thing I should say, age whatever, very young. You are the GM of the new, incredibly exciting Alteno restaurant in Cherry Creek.
Yes, with 3 months. We celebrated our 3 month birthday a few days ago. So very exciting.
That seems so impossible because it's so ingrained in Denver already. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so Alteno is the fourth restaurant as part of Fondafina Hospitality, which is the restaurant group and hospitality group started by Johnny and Casey Curiel. Chef Johnny, he infuses his visions and his experiences growing up around Mexico into each of the dishes, but also into the spirits of the restaurant. That's what inspires him every day. Solteño was the newest addition to the restaurant clan, as I say, and it is homage to his father in the Jalisco region, so the Highlands. And Gabby has joined us several times. Lucky for us to be graced with your presence so often in the
Not
restaurant.
exactly.
No, we always love seeing you. But it's been a fantastic journey. The staff has been incredible. Sommelier, everything. We're really hitting the ground running, and I think we've already started to leave a footprint in Cherry Creek.
Oh, you changed my religion because my religion said, don't go to Cherry Creek. And
Now you
now,
have to come for the pollo.
yeah, well, I mean, that in itself is ridiculous for anybody who hasn't been. When you go to Alteno, they have amazing tacos and Mexican dishes, and every one of them are fabulous. Appetizers, fish, whatever. And then it says chicken and French fries. And who's going to order chicken and French fries at Alteno? Well,
You
once
do.
everybody does, they're hooked. I mean, I've never tasted chicken and French fries like this.
So good. It's hard for me not to eat them every day. So
Yeah.
I understand.
Well, everybody laughs because they said, well, have you? And I said, oh, yeah. And I've made myself a promise that my next reservation, I am not having chicken and French fries. I promise to now order something else.
Right. Well, we'll see. We'll see. You know what you like, but also everything on the menu is so good. So you have
Oh,
to
I
expand your
agree.
horizon.
But this is something I don't even order chicken out that often. But
Well,
here,
that means a lot.
Altano is unbelievable, as are all of Johnny and Casey's restaurants. They are a fabulous couple. Staff is unbelievable. I've never met such good staff. But
I think it shows the leadership of them and how, who we want to bring on and be a part of the Fondafina family. They are truly the best. So we want to be the best for the best.
okay, now we thought today we're going to leave the restaurant scene a little because you are a very special lady. And I am big on charity and helping. But you, what are you, 26, I think, right? If I
I'm
tell,
31.
oh, really? Oh, okay. Tell me, because it came out that you are ahead of a charity. You tell me about your charity. It's,
Yeah, so I am actually fifth generation philanthropist based in San Francisco. So I joined the board of Family Foundation based in San Francisco about 8 years ago now. And so the organization is called the Fleischhacker Foundation, based in San Francisco. And historically, we have supported K through 5 literacy initiatives and arts in the Bay. It was started in 1946, just small grants to organizations in the Bay at the time of what my great 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 grandparents were passionate about, and we're actually one of the very few five generation over 70-year foundations still existing in the family foundation world these days. Um, so a part of that, I joined when I really didn't know what philanthropy was or what nonprofits really were. I had heard a little bit from my mom, who was also on the board when she was pregnant with me. And I just fell in love with the work. And that's actually what inspired me to go to school. So I went to grad school, studied nonprofit management, worked for a large international foundation for a couple of years, managing education in arts and cultural grant making in the US and Europe, and just kind of found a new love for the work. And so upon that, I joined the National Center for Family Philanthropy, where I am the co-chair of the Emerging Leaders Network, which is essentially a network of the future of philanthropy, young philanthropists coming into just starting their journey in philanthropy, whether their family foundation just opened up the board seats to the next gen, or they just started their foundation. So it's a network of about 30 young adults who are just coming into their philanthropic journey, to which I get to help lead, mentor, but also shape the future of what philanthropy is going to look like over these next few years. And we really started that with my family foundation. As I said, we had historically supported education and arts, but as the next gen came on the board several years ago, the entire board was like, well, what inspires you? What makes you excited to show up every day? What causes are near and dear to your heart? Because I think one thing that gets lost in multi-generational family philanthropy is we stick too much to, well, what did the founders want? What was the initial donor's intent?
Okay.
And, you know, 70, 80 years ago, my great grandparents were super involved in the opera and the symphony, which yeah, those things are nice these days. I do enjoy going to the theater and the opera, but also, you know, we have to shift our giving with the times as well. And so once COVID happened, George Floyd and everything, as the next generation really sat down and said that we are extremely passionate about social justice issues. And so with that, we built a pilot program called the Social Justice Initiative, to which we each of us on the fifth gen, which there were five of us on the board at that time, decided to pick a topic that we wanted to research of where we could have impact in the Bay Area. And three themes emerged. One is LGBTQ youth facing homelessness and housing insecurities due to separation from their families, food justice, and then juvenile diversion programs. So for the first year of this grant program, we just piloted and had, you know, single installment grants out to each of those organizations. Met with leaders in the field, tried to see who was doing this great work, really trying to center the community voice, but also get those people at the decision-making table. Because I think, as we know, in philanthropy and nonprofit world, there's a very big power dynamic. You've got the foundations with the money and the organizations doing the work. And why is it just up to the people who have the money and pulling the purse strings? Are they deciding where these funds go? Um, and so with COVID, we saw, you know, everyone is programs are being shut down, but people still needed their doors open. So we shifted all of our programmatic grant making to general operating support, which essentially, for those who aren't familiar, programmatic support means we write a check and say, this is exactly how you have to use your dollars within this program. General operating is no strings attached. So it's us saying, we trust you. Here's our money. Do what you can use it for. And we're not going to sit and tell you how to use your money. And so I think that was a first shift, an exciting point for us to really dive into. And that's how we built. Yeah, that's how we built the entire social justice program. So not only now that we're 5 years past that of the pilot phase, our board was so excited about it that they said, okay, we're going to, all of our funding that we have for education, which is still very important. But given that we were some of the initial funders in the space in the 80s of education space, now our smaller grants are just a drop in the bucket compared to the influx of funding that a lot of education is getting right now. Whereas social justice, direct services, those type of organizations, grassroots, are where we really need the support. So all of our grants are general operating support. We have a 3-year grant cycle. And so they don't get funding for just 1 year. They're eligible for 3 years, which is so incredibly important for the financial health of organizations, but also their planning. It's hard to, especially being in a restaurant, understanding budgeting and things like that. It's hard to plan for the next year if you have no idea what funding you're going to have. Um, so I feel like though
That's
I just talked
every
for like
place
seven
right
minutes.
now. I mean, now it's an issue every place.
Exactly. When you have all the, the executive orders and things like that, where there's so much funding being pulled from nonprofits as
Right.
well, um, it's tough out there. But I think working together and having kind of this fire lit under the next generation, like we're excited to continue to change that narrative, think about how we can be effective philanthropists, and just ultimately move resources quicker than those before us in a time of need because we see a lot of people sitting on a lot of resources, $1 billion endowments that are generating hundreds of $1 millions a year. While if we're all not around in 10, 15 years, what are we sitting on that money for? If we could help change the world and help change these communities and have impact and effective change now. So that's the next battle.
Okay, I have many questions lined up.
All right.
Well, you said it started in San Francisco. Is it now national?
It's just in San Francisco right now. So the family foundation, Flyshacker, is just based in San Francisco, but the National Center for Family Philanthropy that is national. So I'm part of that network, but my actual family foundation is just based in San Francisco.
But these things you're encouraging nationally to all the younger generation
Yes, exactly.
because you were in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, so I was in Washington, D.C. with the National Center for Family Philanthropy. So I was speaking, to that cohort of emerging leaders. And with that, there are several foundations from, smaller family foundations to huge multi-billion-dollar foundations. So really across the spectrum there. But some of those organizations fund only locally, just like us. Some fund nationally and some fund internationally. So we had, many voices in the room with a lot of resources and power in their voices as well.
What's the average age of your workers? I mean, I'm hardly in your generation. And to me, charity is the most important thing, not as the word charity, but helping people who need help. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, that to me is important. But what's the average young age? Are they interested as well of the
yeah
people
so i
with you?
I would say the age range of our cohort is 20 to 40.
Oh,
um
great.
so we have some people just coming into it there. It also depends on a lot of the bylaws for foundations. Like for my foundation, you weren't eligible to join until you were 21. Some have it at 18, but also there are several families, which is something we've been talking about, within my foundation is at what age do you get young people involved, even though they may not
15
have a
and
vote
10.
or exactly. I mean, how can we, even if it's what we have what's called discretionary grants. And so even though all of our grant making is done in San Francisco, the majority of our board is not based in San Francisco. So another question is, how do we stay engaged? And so we each get a discretionary grant of $5,000 a year that we get to give to any organization in the country. It's the only grants that we make outside of the Bay. That's like some to organizations that are near and dear to our heart that aren't necessarily in the Bay. So having those conversations of, well, if you have 30 descendants who are under the age of 21, how do we get them involved sooner? So
Yeah.
having small discretionary funds for, you know, blood members of the family to be able to practice philanthropic giving of even if it's to their local food shelter or homeless shelter, whatever it may be, just the act of understanding what giving is to causes at a younger age. So that's what we're talking about now, thinking about now as well.
So you're encouraging this, obviously. But let's say I'm sitting here, I can't say with a kid, a grandkid. I'm beyond kids. Uh, what do they do when they hear you speak? Like now, how do they get involved?
I say just ask questions. Come
No,
talk to
I
me,
mean,
ask
oh,
questions. Oh,
okay.
and
I'm in
yeah,
Denver. They would call you.
absolutely. They can call me. I think it starts with conversation. It starts with informing. I had no idea, as I said, what this entire world was or what the sector held or kind of just the significance it is until I got to a boardroom table and started reading dockets and kind of understanding. I think for those who care about community and want to give back in different ways
Right.
and to get involved, need to be connected with people who have experience in the field who can help navigate and guide, but also volunteer. I'd say that would be the next step of find things that you're passionate about. And I guarantee there's a local organization doing that work that you can help volunteer at. So I think that would be for young people too, who aren't maybe necessarily ready to join a board or make that time commitment, but are able to at least get involved in the community in some way and give back.
No, I think it's marvelous. I wish every young person was doing it. And I mean, let's don't, I'm trying not to be political, but right now there is so much need with grants being taken away.
Mhm.
I mean, I personally do a lot with the food bank that's losing this grant with the children, with this, with the older people, and every organization just really needs help now because they're
Absolutely. And
losing grants and funding, not
they're
because they
losing, yeah.
should be.
Exactly. They're losing it, which has been out of their control. They also are losing funds that they thought they had guaranteed for the next
But
fiscal year.
absolutely.
And so they're having to fire staff, having to change their programming, which is really terrifying and unfortunate. And there was a time where, I mean, still happening where, even foundations are being attacked by certain people because they're say, oh, we support these types of communities. Well, according to some orders, it is you're not allowed to. We had to sit and talk because one of our current social justice program is the LGBTQ youth program, and considering what has come out about how you can't support queer
Right.
organizations, you can't support anything with DEI, all of that, we had to take a step back and be like, well, how do we protect ourselves? Do we need to take this language off of our website so that we don't, get Google searched and then we're threatened to be shut down?
Oh,
And
somebody's
that's a
going to shut
scary
me
thing.
down.
Someone's going to take away 501(c)(3) status. Like these are real things, especially for those large organizations. But ultimately, we decided that we need to stand by our grantees, stand by our partners, because if we show that, oh, we're scared, so we're going to take all this language off of our website, it's like turning our back on them. Versus like, no, we're going to hold strong. We're still supporting these organizations. We're proud to. We're going to keep that language on. And, the foundations with a lot of zeros have the ability to protect themselves with lawyers versus, turning their back on the communities that don't have the resources to do so. So I think it's really important for us to hold our ground now in this space.
Applause for you. And just to get it back, even before we say goodbye to restaurants, the restaurants are struggling now. Their prices are higher, their labor is higher, the food, they don't know where they're getting it with tariffs and everything. So the public has really got to be a little kinder, I guess might be the word, to all
Yeah,
the
I mean,
restaurant people too.
yeah, I would agree. And I think too, with prices and everything rising, we are also showing up every day to provide an experience. And I think, when the economy is in, flux and nobody really knows what's going on, people are afraid to go out and eat and enjoy themselves, and which is understandable, right? I think it's so important breaking bread at tables and having conversation, just being in community and experiencing another culture through food and through an experience is something that we have to continue. And there's a lot of places out there that are not raising their prices because of tariffs and things because they want to stay true to their ethos and still be able to provide exactly what the community wants and needs. And I think that's the best place for us to stick together, is to continue to go out, enjoy food, enjoy beverages, but just be nice. Like you said, be nice to the people.
You're about the most wonderful person. And you know,
No, that's you.
I truly feel that way. And for anybody who is watching this, you will see this precious, precious person at Alteno and Johnny Curiel, who is Mexican American. But just go visit them. What is it, 249 Clayton? Is that the address?
249 plate. Yep,
Oh,
inside the Clayton Hotel.
right. And any night of the week. And she is the most fabulous GM you have ever met. And forget restaurants, the most wonderful lady in ever. You are just incredible. And anything I could ever do, I'm happy to do. And I know you and Johnny and Casey and everybody are backing and helping with all of our problems as well. The restaurant industry is pretty special when you get to it, especially when there's people like you. So all I can say is thank you for all you do in every way.
Well,
And
thank you. I appreciate it.
oh, and everybody watching, please like and subscribe on YouTube to the Gabb with two B's / Gabby Gourmet. Facebook and Instagram, you will see this. And I'm just Gabby Gourmet. And yes, as I leave Alteno every time, I walk up and I say, when's the next time we can get a reservation so I can go back? And Becca, you are awesome. Thank you, my love.
Well, thank you. Thank you for creating space and allowing a platform for me to speak about these things. You're
Uh,
incredible as well.
they're very important. And so is the younger generation. We need them.
Yes, absolutely.
All ladies, come and go. We need the kids. Thank
No, I need it all. Thank
you. Love
you.
you. Have a great weekend. My love.
You too.
Thank you.
Bye.